Biology Part 116. For example, the wavelength 550 meters stimulates green sensitive and red sensitive cones equally and is perceived as the color yellow. Other wavelengths produce different color sensation in a similar way. An interesting consequence of this system for detecting color is the sensation of any particular wavelength of light that can be produced by stimulating eye using an appropriate mixture of blue, green and red light as outlined in the figure. An equal mixture of green and red lights produces a sensation of yellow, while mixture of blue and red produces magenta. Mixing blue and green, red in equal proportions gives white. Other colors such as orange are produced by unequal mixture of light. Certain colors including brown, metallic colors like gold and silver cannot be produced by simple mixture of light. However, they can be represented in photographic transparencies in television pictures which use only blue, green and red. The details of the perception of these colors are not fully understood but must depend on the other cells of the retina which process the input received from the rods and cones. The different kinds of color blindness are explained by an absence or deficiency of one or the other photopigments for the different cone types. For example, red-green color blindness can be caused by a lack of red sensitive cones, that is protanopia, or by a lack of green sensitive cones, which is called deuteranopia. For reasons to be explained in this tutorial, red-green color blindness is much more common in males than in females. The bipolar cells are neurons which gather information from the photoreceptors and transmit it into the next cell layer. Rod bipolar cells normally receive input from several rods, making it more likely that objects in dim light will be perceived. On the other hand, the cone bipolar cells are connected to just one or two cones so that good definition is preserved. This arrangement helps to explain why night vision is slightly fuzzy while objects seen in the daylight are sharply defined. Number 3, horizontal and amacrine cells. These cells form the lateral connections in the retina and help to coordinate the activity of the bipolar and ganglion cells. Number 4, ganglion cells. The neurons have more complex connections than bipolar cells. Typically, they have circular receptive fields. That is, they receive information from a circular group of the photoreceptors. Experimental studies using microlues show that the light stimuli around the edges of the receptive field can have different effects on the ganglion cell than stimuli directed at its center. For example, some ganglion cells have an on-center off-surround organization. In other words, stimuli around the edges of the receptive field reduce the rate of firing of the ganglion cell, while stimuli at the center of the field increases activity. Other ganglion cells have the opposite off-center on-surround organization. These types of cell responds to the changes in intensity of light without regard to the color, but they are ganglion cells which respond to the color.